Hey guys, it's John. In this video, I want to run through how you're going to get more leads off your Instagram profile. And this exact strategy is what I use to take my client Shane from 2.5 grand upwards to 22 grand per month. Exploring opportunities within his following, starting conversations. This is exactly what we're going to go through today. And this was really, really important for his result. Likewise, it was for Pippa. She got from like 19 clients all the way to 63 clients in the space of 12 weeks. And a huge part of this process was starting conversations and then going through this first strategy here. And what I want to go through with you today is understanding where to place your energy and where to focus on first, because there's different familiarity in the following. And I want to break down who to message first, how to message, how to approach each person, each situation, and how to adapt it to get the best returns physically possible. This is exactly what I teach my clients on a one-on-one basis. Everything you're going to learn here, I teach them directly and I apply it to their personality, I apply it to their situation, I apply it to their specific niche, and they have a really good understanding of what they want to do, what they want to say, given this theory. And I've put down like the order of importance. If you want to pause the video now and just screenshot it, you might want to go away and do it. I'm not going to here to put sticky notes to kind of make you stay and watch, because I literally can't be asked for that. So pause now if you want to just take it and run with it, or if you want to wait for me to go through each one, you could do that, and then we're going to cover each exact example so you know all the details of what to go away and do, so you can get more business and more people off your content. And that's the whole point, because 19 out of 20 people, they won't reach out to you. So if we're waiting for the 1 out of 20 to message us, you can do that, but if we can be comfortable and authentic and reach out to the other 19 out of 20, you're going to increase your chances and likelihood. And the first thing I need to do, actually, use the red pen, is we need to do this. You're not looking for leads. This is all about opportunity. And more importantly, it's actually about help. So if you go out looking for leads, you're going to fail, because people can tell. And that's why outreach DMs gets a bad name, because if you go straight in, you get people messaging and you go straight into your requests, no doubt. People just wanting to go straight into their service. It's so selfish, and you're just like, you're not engaging in my content, you're not supporting my channel, piss off shortly. So you're looking for opportunity here in ways you can help people, but sometimes it's not always about rushing with help. Sometimes it's just being social. So if you look on the left, you've got a very dodgy thermometer, but that is a thermometer to illustrate that there's different temperatures within your following. And whenever marketers use the word temperature, they mean familiarity, understanding. Someone who inquires with you, they probably know quite a bit more about what you do, or they have higher intent than someone who doesn't follow you and doesn't know you exist. It's very simple, the extreme poles. And if you think about funnels, you know, a funnel like that, anyone talks about funnels of like different segments of the market all the way at the bottom, turn that funnel upside down, and that's what you're looking at there, really. It's a sense of how well people know you. And I want to save you time, because if you concentrate your efforts at the top and work your way down every single day, you're going to probably more likely encounter people who are willing to have a conversation once the time comes. Because if you look, imagine it this way, I never recommend messaging outside your following, ever, because it'll go straight into the requests, and people don't like being spammed, and it comes across as spammy. If you can't message anyone in the following, or if you don't have any followers, this is what content's for. Focus your energy on content, get better at content, and then that way that'll build your following to then engage with people who come and see your stuff. That's when you can engage. So pull people in, let them see your stuff. Sounds dodgy, but hey ho, charge extra for that. And then once they inquire, obviously they're the focal point. So anyone inquiring, you need to message them first, because inquiries, they're hot. You need to respond to that as soon as possible. And the best way I would do that is find out what they want to achieve. Details of actually what they want to achieve. Losing weight's not a goal. So if you say you want to lose weight, but so let's just say the number on the scale changed, but you look identical to how you look now. Is that what you want? No. Okay, you want to change how you look. What elements? So specific goal, what is the issue in their mind, not yours, not your perspective, theirs, because it's not about finding out the actual issue that you need to fix. It's about finding out the issue that they think is holding them back. So you need to overcome that, and you need to explain how you'd overcome that for them to believe they can inquire with you. Find out their issue that's in their head, and then what's your process very succinctly? How would you then solve that? And then what's the expectation of the result? That's it, and it's a very simple framework. If you want me to do another video on this, just comment below or message me on Instagram. Give me some feedback if you want me to cover that. I can go in a lot more detail on that if we need to, but in this video we want to go through the temperature and we want to kind of progress. But in essence, there's a system to follow when anyone inquires with you. But likewise, if people are not inquiring, you do not want to push that on people because it's unwelcomed. So what you need to do is, anyone who then reacts to your engagement pieces, you need to respond depending on what the engagement topic is. Now, engagement topic, what do I mean? I mean polls, quizzes, Q&As, rating scales, stickers. With this, think about it like this. Basically, you've got a river flowing through your account, and it's basically the story function. You got at the top of Instagram, you got story browser, and you got people who just go through those stories. It's actually millennials, so 32-year-olds plus onwards, that's the main feature they use. So depending on your market, I think stories are probably a huge feature that keep people within Instagram. So each time, let's just say this is you. What you're doing is you're fishing, you're putting a little fishing rod out, a little bit of bait, which would be a hideous fish. This is the bait. You're putting the bait out for people to react and engage with. You could look at it like that. And the more you resonate with your market, the more engaging that is, the stronger the bait. And people going through the stories, you can stop them in their tracks and you can engage. That's where you get a random person who has viewed you up until this point, and then you can actually start a conversation based on what it is. Okay, and if you look at that, probably the easiest one is polls, because polls is pressing button. Q&As, they have to think. I mean, Q&As is pretty good. If you've got a large number of story viewers, say it's thousands plus, and you probably need to qualify people a little bit more, putting a Q&A about what they want to know or anything about topics of whatever you cover, meal plans, macros, keto, PEDs, all that sort of stuff, whatever you like to answer, get people to kind of ask questions around that, and there you go. You can reply to them, more story content, download the story, that's a post, great, fantastic, and then also respond to the person with voice notes. Really good way to get into conversation with people coming inbound with interest. It's not inquiry interest, but it's still tentative interest. So once you've got that, that's great, but let's just say polls is an easy way for people to engage, because it's literally pressing a button. They don't have to think about putting something into the text box. So with a poll, you've got hard and soft. Hard polls, anything to do with your service, anything to do with your struggle. Hard poll example, before July, would you rather lose 10 pounds or add 20 kilo onto your bench? That's related to your topic. A soft poll, Pepsi or Coke? The answer is Pepsi. Another good soft poll is coffee. Is it coffee if you put milk in? That's one of my clients is Angus. He's getting a lot of good engagement off that. So it's just controversial or polarizing things. Really good material for soft polls, really good bait. So when you get people engaging off those, a rating scale could be like a hideous haircut, and then rate the haircut, and it's just easy for people to do. So all these ideas you can put into these features, and then when someone reacts to it, you just respond and play off that, and then just start a conversation. You don't have to push people into that, but what you're doing is that. And then let's just say if it is more hard, or let's say it's soft, the Pepsi or Coke, you're talking about it backwards and forwards, then you could broach the fact of like, anyway, I've got to go. Just want to say, if you ever need any help, please let me know. I'll do whatever I can to help you. So you don't have to bait and switch and segue the conversation. Sometimes you can just cut it short and say, look, yeah, fair play, really fun talking to you. I've got to go, but if I can help you, I will. Or if it's a hard poll, you're straight in that topic. So again, it depends on the context of the thing. That's all I'll say with that. Then the next thing, ironically, I wouldn't actually go straight to story viewers. I would go down to here. Technically, they know you less, but anyone who's following you recently, new followers, I've done that wrong. Let's just swap that. Ignore this. I could just edit it out, but I won't. So there you go. 3 is that, and then 6 is that. So anyone who's recently followed you, that shows recent intent, high intent. So it's like, okay, why? So once you've sorted that out, then you look at your recent followers, and I would just drop a message or a voice note and ask them, like, appreciate the follow, anything you can do to help me, will, out of interest, what made them follow you? That'll find out their reason and tied to their goal. Once you found out the goal, again, okay, no problem. What's been the hardest part of the process so far? That'll find out the struggle, the issue, and then help them. And this is all we're trying to do. And again, we're not trying to close anyone. We're not trying to set calls. We're trying to find out if they need our help, and then we're going to help them. And it's that if we focus on helping them up front, it will create that space for people to kind of ask or want more. And if they don't, no problem, leave them to it. There is more than enough people online for you to help and fill up your books when we approach it in the right way and seek trust over price. So help them. Not much more to explain on that once you get the response. Then we go back to story viewers, number 4. And this is where people are just viewing your story, but they might not be engaging. So again, these people here, they're viewing you every 24 hours. Obviously, inquiries is slightly different, but they're viewing you constantly. Swipe up, look at your story viewers. Then you can see who that person is. Maybe message them. Maybe go on their stories and react off their stories. A genuine question or an authentic comment, that makes sense. If they're putting stuff up about ferns, randomly because I see a fern over there, and you don't know anything about ferns, don't comment about ferns. Just leave it. Wait for another story. But go off their content. It's not a bad idea. Again, we're just trying to connect with people and get to the point if they need our help in any way we can. So with these, last thing I'll say on this before we move on, very shortly, understand that these people who are viewing you regularly, and it's like the towards the bottom of the funnel, these people you want to show validation to. This is where you've captured their attention. They're watching you. You don't have to focus on clickbaity too much, but what you can do is just try and convince them and show them the evidence that you know what you're doing. So maybe it's case studies. Maybe a good thing to do here is check-ins. Whenever you do check-ins, after your check-ins, 30 minutes, pick 7 talking points, screenshot them, maybe little videos, and then do a video of you talking about it, or maybe just add bullet points. And if you do 7, that's you created a batch for the entire week. That's 7 case studies which you can drip feed once per day on your stories whilst it's fresh in your mind. You collect the information, you film it whilst you've done the check-ins, and then that way for the rest of the week, when anyone ever checks you out on your content, they look on your stories and they go, oh, he's talking about this, or he's working with it, he's working. You're always there on service, helping, doing this, explaining. So it's a really easy way to kind of create that perception of, which is honest, but that perception of you've just got so much going on the inside of service. So that's not a bad way to offer that validation. Then obviously you've got client wins, text wins, and then you've got actual physical results. So just understand that people who are in this section, in this segment, in that temperature range, you want to show validation to warm them up and get them over the line, and then odd call to actions. But anyway, that's slightly tangential. Then the next point is comments. People who are commenting and liking. Commenters are obviously probably a little bit more committal. So off that, you got people who are reacting, resonating. Anyone who likes, not a bad way to do. Just drop them a message, DM. Just let them know you appreciate it. You're putting a lot of effort in right now. I saw you've been supporting me with a few likes or some comments. Thank you so much. That feedback really means a lot. Leave it like that. Just say thanks. Sometimes showing appreciation is enough. It's not a huge signal of interest. Depends what the comment is, to be fair. But I wouldn't class that as a bigger signal as a poll reaction. But because it is a bit non-committal, someone's just liking. But you never know. You just make that connection then the next time they might pay more attention. And you're creating that potential. So that's all you've got to think about there. And again, you'll see that this is less impactful than this is, because they know you less. You're not trying to spend your energy in trying to convert or trying to progress conversations with the people who know you the least. And then we talked about recent followers, the likers and comments. You can look at their content. You can say thank you. What I probably will say here is it's the same as recent old followers. This is the same approach you can do, but when you're going through your following and you've exhausted all this, and then you've got people in your following you haven't messaged before, and they've been following you for a while, they might not be liking your stuff. You could drop a voice note and just say, I hope you have a great day. I just want to drop a voice note, introduce myself, and just let you know that if you have any questions at any time, please feel free to message me. I'll do whatever I can to help you. I can do this, I can help you with that. Yeah, if you need it, I'm here. Something like that. Again, you're just making an introduction. You're saying you can help in this. You're making it clear that you're not going to close them. You're making it clear that if they have any questions, if they want to know more of your content, you are available, and you will do that directly within DMs. So that's not a bad thing to do. And again, you can work your way through your following if you've gone through all of that. And non-followers, I would not even bother. The only reason I put that on there is because you might have ads out, probably might not, might do, but if you're running an ad, they don't know who you are. They don't have a clue who you are. So they're only coming through on the interest of the offer. They're incredibly fickle. So that's a lot more offer or guarantee based versus someone who is a good understanding of what you're about and how you work and wants to inquire for the sake of inquiring, and wants to work with you because they want to work with you instead of, I want this offer, I want this guarantee, you said I could do this, I want that. And they're fickle and the conversion rate will be a lot less. So that's pretty much an overview of who to focus on first. This is a different range of approaches. And I think you've got to look at where the bottleneck is in your process. Like if you're not getting many inquiries, you've got to look at the volume of call to actions you're doing on content. You've got to look at how many stories you're putting up. You've got to look at the type of story content you're putting up. Are you putting up validation? Are you doing this enough? Are you doing sort of, 4 a week or 3 a week? Are you creating space for people to kind of reach out to you? Are you putting memes up? Are you putting anything entertaining up? How good is your bait on stories for people to kind of resonate and respond? Are you being proactive? Are you going out there and are you being the one to start the 19 out of 20 conversations rather than just sitting and waiting for that 1 out of 20 to come to us? And then story viewers, if you're putting out stories regularly, you're actually creating an understanding and opportunity to look at who is watching you the most. And that's just useful in of itself to find out who is familiar with you, and then you can then react with them. And then if the content is good, we should be getting engagement. If it's not so good, we can look at that. And I say good relatively. Some of the best content I know has the worst engagement that actually produces inquiries. So I really got to be careful of what I say there. We've got to dissect that. There's a lot of variables, a lot of details about it. But the point I'm making here is there's loads of different angles and ways to interact with people within your following, rather than just waiting for inquiries to happen. And if we tailor our approach, try some different strategies, use your own language, but experiment with this, it's only ever going to improve your chances. And again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I help people do this on a one-on-one basis where we look at the data, we look at the personality type, we talk, we work together. And then, because my service is outside, we have the calls, we also have WhatsApp. I literally do this and we work together. So my clients message me and then I say, they probably a screenshot a message that the person sent, they send it to me, we have a conversation, maybe say this, and then they send it back. And we can literally go backwards and forwards with that for an hour, hours, to build conversations, just to get that system up and running for them, just to get that familiarity. So that client is confident with the approach and they're comfortable doing it. Because sometimes you just need that handhold, you need a bit of guidance. And then once you know it's suitable and it works, you can go off and do it. And then that's the main element of this. If we can take responsibility and go for the 19, things are just going to run more smoothly in the long run. Anyway, hope that helps. See you in the next one.